Right, so I just had a Mark 6 Golf GTI come in, and I put a couple of pictures on my Insta story the other day, and everyone was like, Calvin, please do a video on that car. And if I'm honest, I didn't have much intention of doing a video on it, but I do a lot of golf content. I have had a lot going on lately, like loads of other content going on, but I do a lot of golf content on my channel. It is a GTI. I've never driven a Mark 6 GTI before, and it's an extremely cool car. So today it's going to be like a first impressions, or my first impressions, on this Mark 6 Golf GTI. Let's go. Right, so let's have a quick wander around the outside of it. And first thing, I sort of mentioned this on my Insta story as well. These headlights, yeah, it's got like some kind of aftermarket converted headlight. I don't know who provides these headlights, but they do such a good job of them. If anyone knows who provides these headlights, please put a comment below, because let me just turn them on, yeah? 1 second. So if I firstly turn the ignition on, yeah. Secondly, we'll put that on auto, and then thirdly, hazards on, yeah? Look at that. It's got, so like a Mark 7.5 Golf R, it's got the sort of half angel eye headlights and the sweeping indicators, and that is also, if you come around to the back, I know this ain't standard Mark 6 stuff, but I think if you've got a Mark 6, that is such a nice touch. Look at that. So yeah, I love little things like that. It's not very, it's obviously not a stock thing, but it looks very stock. It doesn't look too much like it's come out of Halfords. Just take that key out there. But yeah, the car itself, so this car is actually a categorised car. I seem to have a lot of categorised cars on my channel at the minute. I don't generally deal with a lot of categorised cars, but I suppose a lot of performance cars do end up in situations on the road because they are high performance cars. But forget about that. I don't know, actually have a clue where the accident was. All the paint looks all quite nice, the bumpers and stuff line up. No idea, but we're not here to talk about the categorised thing. We're here to just talk about the Mark 6 thing. So character, let's talk about what it's got going for it. Lots of red touches, yeah, sort of like the hexagonal, is that hexagonal, 1 2 3 4 hexagonal grille, GTI badge, red stripes at the front there. 18-inch Monza wheels. I'm pretty sure they're called Monza wheels. The earlier Mark 5s had the same wheels. I'm not sure if they come in as a diamond cut version. They're a very good looking wheel. They suit the car, yeah, let's face it. It does make the car look really good. At the back, at the bottom there, we've got 2 single exhausts, 1 on each side. That's a nice little touch. I like that. I like the fact that they've gone to the effort of splitting the pipes and putting 1 out of each side. Really cool touch, that is. One thing that kind of stands out for me with the looks of a GTI, a Mark 6 GTI, is sort of how fat they are, yeah? They've kind of got this depth. I know I'm not going to say it's got wide arches or nothing like that, but there's a bit of sort of like a ramp the whole way down the side of the car, just giving it a sort of bit of fatness. It just looks quite fat, doesn't it? So I don't know, I like that. Indicators in the mirror, and then if you move on to the inside, we've got the traditional early sort of Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 1, even Golf GTI interior. I love the way that they go to all this effort to give it that old school pattern. They seem to repeat that throughout all of the GTIs. Love that. You've got a GTI badge just in the centre of the headrest there as well, like that. And then the red theme as well, that continues, yeah? So we've got red stitching there. And then if we jump in, put the key in ignition quick. Straighten up steering wheel. The steering wheel. Let's talk about steering wheels, yeah? Because I love a nice steering wheel, and I believe that a steering wheel really does affect or make you feel good about the car that you're driving. That is a good looking steering wheel. I don't care what anyone says, that is an extremely good looking steering wheel. Obviously, for the age of car it is, it's not as modern as some of the steering wheels that we see today, but for its time, that is such a good looking steering wheel. When I know I'm going a bit overboard here, but this sort of stuff, yeah, like the change of, it's not a change of material, but it's a change of finish in the material, yeah. At the top half, let me just sort of block the light, you can see it's kind of pitted the whole way around the top and then the bottom of the steering wheel, yeah. The bottom is a flat bottom steering wheel. There's a GTI badge there. Could do with a good old clean around it. We're not here to talk about how dirty the car is, but that's a nice touch as well. This sort of brushed silver around the GTI badge, it continues up here, and then you've got all the multi-functions for the steering wheel, for the radio and the dash and stuff everywhere else, yeah? So on both sides of the wheel, yeah? I just think that is a really chunky, bold, sort of mean looking steering wheel. But anyway, that's enough talk about the steering wheel. It has also got red stitching on the inside of there. I just really like that. The gear stick, this is a manual car, yeah, 6-speed manual, and the red thing continues. We've got red stitching on the gator, red around the gear stick, and if you look up here, you've also got a red GTI badge, yeah? So what we'll do is we'll end talking about the visuals of the car, and I'll get the cameras set up inside, and we'll go for a little drive in there, all right? Mark 6 Golf GTI. Now, when it came in a couple of days ago, I sort of got straight in the driver's seat of it and had a little look around, as you do. And you know, we're all the same. We look at all the similar types of cars on Auto Trader, on eBay, and this is a car that pops up in my head quite often. The standard GTI is 210 bhp. The Edition 35, which is something that I'm massively drawn to, I think they're 235 bhp, ironically, and then they do the Golf R, which is 270 bhp, yeah? Golf R obviously being the highest one in the range, but GTI, although it's the lower model of them three that I speak about, it's still a top of the range Golf, yeah? It is a high level Golf, and inside and out it shows that. Now, when I put a picture of this, like I said earlier, on my Instagram, understandably, a lot of people, being like a very Golf lovable, sort of a Golf liking, that's a better word, audience that I have here on my channel, you can imagine that a lot of people did want to see it on my channel for obvious reasons. I love a front wheel drive sports hatch. I know I say that all the time, but they are just so much fun. They're really drivable. Thank you very much. They're the front end's always sort of quite sketchy as they pull, providing they've got enough power. And always when you get into any car, you have an expectation of it, and I say this a lot. And you get into the driver's seat of a Mark 6 Golf GTI, and you think it's got 210 bhp, which doesn't sound like a lot. It's quite an old car now, let's face it. It's sort of 10 years old, and this is an early car, by the way, 59 plates. So I think they come out in 2009, so it is an early car, but it's extremely impressive. Don't get into this car, if you ever drive one, or if you're considering buying one, don't think you're going to get into it and feel disappointed, because you're not. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed, yeah? Now, it is only 210 brake, and I use the word only because in comparison to a lot of cars that we see, especially on my channel and other channels on YouTube, it's a lot less power than some of the cars we see. But let's talk about tuning capabilities, yeah? Now, I use VRS Northampton. I rate them a lot. I've got a good relationship with Will. A good local tuning company will get one of these cars at stage 1 to about 250 bhp, yeah? But the peak number, I talk about this a lot as well, peak number's not everything, yeah? Let's get that idea out of our heads. Sometimes when you drive a car, a certain type of car, it will deliver power in such a way that you will not care what your peak bhp number is. What you care about is how it delivers, yeah? And at 250 bhp, what you will also get, including with your slightly higher bhp number, is a lot better car. Let's get out of this. A lot better, a higher performing car throughout the whole rev range, yeah? When these cars come out of factory, they're limited, but not to say this does still feel quick, not to say it feels slow, because it doesn't. Thank you, sir. Oh, you're a girl. Sorry, darling. Thank you, darling. So, yeah, stage 1 is 250 bhp. That's about 500 or 600 quid. I'm not doing this to advertise VRS, by the way. I'm just doing it because I know a lot of people that will watch this video will be keen we're watching this video because they're quite keen to buy one of these cars, and most people that look at this type of car will definitely look at tuning, yeah? So go to wherever you want in the whole planet to tune your car, but 250 bhp is what you probably expect at stage 1. Stage 2, it's going to be quite a lot more money. Stage 1's probably £500 or £600. Stage 2 is obviously exhaust work and filter. That's going to give you 280 bhp quite comfortably, right? And again, you're going to get a bit more noise, a bit more drama, and better airflow. That's ultimately the goal of stage 2, yeah? At that point in time, if you go to a stage 2 with any car, I think every car should be at least a stage 1. Every car, especially with a turbo, should be at stage 1 at least. But stage 2 will give you an extremely exciting driving experience, right? And for not a lot of money, it's so worth it. Now let's talk about the value of these cars, because I think that's something else that's is also a valuable, double value, a valuable point, yeah? Let's turn right, I think. Because, you know, it gets that stage in your life where you can finally afford to insure a car with a turbo, a car with a bit more power, a car with a 2-litre engine. I know a lot of you are in that position as well. And you know, we look at what we can get for our money and what's the most we can get. Now, if you compare this to a Mark 7 Golf R, or a Golf GTI even, or a Mark 7 Golf full stop, obviously you're going to find fault with this car. It's going to look a little bit dated. But Mark 7 Golf GTIs are a lot more money. If you compare this to a Mark 5 Golf GTI, this is going to look a million times better than a Mark 5 Golf GTI. They are looking extremely dated now, and although they are great value for money in my opinion, I think they're kind of past their time, kind of, yeah? But if you do go out and buy a Mark 5 Golf GTI for sort of $2.5 grand or whatever they are now, I think that's a great choice of car. So don't, Mark 5 Golf GTI owners, do not sit there and think, oh, Calvin, you're slagging off my car. I'm not, but I do think for a bit more money, these are so worth it. I say a bit more, they're a hell of a lot more money, aren't they? Forget about all of that. You're at that stage of your life where you can finally get a car with a big turbo, with a bit of power, yeah, with a bit of tuning potential, and a lot more capabilities for you as a driver, yeah? A lot of people are going to be looking at a Mark 6 Golf GTI, and it is tunable, it is a good choice of car, and I think the bottom line is you can pick one of these up now for about, I think they start at about £7,000, yeah? This one's done 100,000 miles, and I'm not joking, it is such a tidy car. I'm not saying that this is a tidy car. Don't think as well that I'm trying to sell you a car. I say that all the time. I do not struggle to sell cars, believe me. If you go to my yard at Binker, we're busy there all the time. I'm not trying to sell you the car, but if you go and look at a Mark 6 Golf GTI with similar mileage to this car, i.e. 100,000 miles, it would have similar wear to this car, and they seem to wear extremely well. This one does have a little bit of wear on the driver's seat here, on the bolster, but that's probably because the bolster's quite a sort of a fiercely pointed part of the seat, so, and it's obviously in a vulnerable part of the car as well, as in we're getting in and out, yeah? The bolster's always wear, but it ain't worn too badly. But for £7,000, expect to get one with over 100,000 miles, and it would have a similar amount of wear to it, yeah? But for your £7,000, you're gonna have a car that will fit in extremely well in the car community. It will fit in on the road. It will look like you've bought a car that's a bloody serious car. It will look like you're a person who knows exactly how to spend their money, because it's a Golf, and it's a Golf GTI. Now I said about the interior, yeah? Look at what this car offers you. So it is good value for money, it's tunable. As a stock car, you can see how I'm driving it now. It's exciting, yeah? And forget about the 210 bhp number, forget about it, that's not important. You can get this car with either a manual gearbox, a DSG gearbox. It looks good. I said about the fatness of it, it's got road presence, don't care what anyone says, they look bloody good, yeah? They're tunable, they come with a 5-door, a 3-door, this interior, I would much rather a Golf R have this interior, but they don't do it with this interior. This is kind of like the classic benchmark of the Golf range. The GTI is the legendary Golf, and I think that's obviously why they chose to stick this interior and keep it in, this interior in this car and keep it in the GTI throughout the whole VW Golf range, because the GTI is the car, the legend of Volkswagen Golfs, and this car does so much, not just for me, but to anyone who would ever own one. And I say that for every GTI in the whole range of VW Golfs. I rate them so highly. And you know, your bloody mum, your gran, your I don't know, your brother, your sister, anyone. I just put the wipers on by accident because I've got fat fingers. Golfs suit everyone. And again, I'm kind of repeating myself. Let me just, this road's a private road, so I film here a lot as well, and it's such a great little road. But they offer a car for everyone, don't they? The whole road could be filled with VW Golfs and no one would miss out on anything. They do an estate, they do they don't do a saloon. They do an estate, they do a 3-door, a 5-door, a hybrid, a diesel, a highly tuned or high powered petrol engine. They do everything. And there's something about a GTI that, I don't know, maybe the front wheel drive thing, it's something about it's exciting. They do the Club Sport and the Club Sport S obviously in the later cars, and they're still a front wheel drive car, and they come out of the factory. I think the S's have got the same engine as the Golf R, yeah? They're 300 brake horsepower. What a great choice of car that is. Golfs, you know, I've got my Golf R, or I haven't anymore because I handed it over for 25 quid, and on that note you can still win my other Golf R for just £19.50. That's providing there is still tickets available. I don't know if there is at this point, but yeah, they just no, look, get past this car. Thank you, sir, thank you very much. Look at him, look, he's basically driving. Oh, that was horrible there. And the thing that I really like about the GTI is the fact that it's front wheel drive. And the reason why I like it is because sometimes, and I say it's about rear wheel drive as well, sometimes when you're driving a 2-wheel drive car, you kind of get that erratic feeling, don't you? You just kind of, it feels like it does give a little bit. And even in the dry at the minute with stock power, yeah, if I have the traction control on, it is actually currently on, every now and then with dry roads, it's warm outside, the traction control will kick in, and that is because the wheels are trying to slip, yeah? It gives you an idea how powerful this car is. It doesn't need to be any more powerful, so if you do intend on buying one, don't feel like you have to tune it, but because in stock form, they're actually surprisingly quick. But if you was to tune it, you've got all that potential. So, like I said, this video is really my first impressions of a Golf GTI Mark 6, and I'll say it again that 0 to 60, by the way, 6.9 seconds it does. But yeah, I'll say it again, value for money, right? I'm doing this thing at the minute, and I know we all do it, and a lot of you will relate to this, and I spoke about it before on my channel. When you're looking to buy your next car, especially in the used, not even just in the used car world, if you're buying a brand new car even, you can always spend a little bit more, can't you? You can always spend a little bit more, and before you know it, your £500 budget's 1,000, then 1,500 and 2,000, and you think, God, and if I buy that car, for an extra couple of grand I can get that car. And there's always got to be a line that you cross. Obviously your budget dictates what you can buy. If you are looking for a car for in this region of value, yeah, i.e. sort of £7,000, there are a hell of a lot of cars you can buy, but a Golf GTI has kind of put a stamp on the car market. A Golf GTI, if you ask anyone you know, almost, it's a bit like tomato soup. Almost everyone likes a Golf GTI, yeah? And the reason why I use tomato soup, because I'm guessing it's rubbish saying that. I like tomato soup and I love Golf GTIs, and they are a good choice of car because they do so much, yeah? And I think that is kind of my analogy of this car. But my first impressions are, I really like it. I love the steering wheel. I really highlighted that at the beginning of the video, and I do really just like the overall way it drives, the way it performs, and I love the fact that it's front wheel drive. For high levels of tuning. Front wheel drive is of course not ideal because it will struggle for traction, but when you're talking about stage 1, stage 2 and lower budgets, this is such a good choice of car. So I'm going to leave it as that. I don't know what else I can say. I tend to talk highly of everything. If you want me to know any negatives about this car, I don't currently have one, because you know, when you get into a car for your first time, for the first couple of days, naturally you're excited about it. I've only driven it for a little while, so I'm still in that honeymoon period, so I'm sorry I don't have anything bad to report. I just really like this car, all right? So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like the video. For those that are new, give you an idea, I'm a car trader, buy and sell this type, all types of cars, but if I get anything sort of this type of thing come in, I get it on my channel, and I do as much content, spit my words out correctly, I do as much content on this type of car as I possibly can, all right? So if you are new, do hit the subscribe button. Obviously, if you like the video, hit like as well, and I'll see you in the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, all right? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, I'm gonna do a countdown, and after the countdown, I'm gonna click my fingers, and you're gonna be faced with a car. Ready? 3, 2, 1.